Before embarking on my month-long excursion to South Africa, I admittedly had some assumptions about the country. I assumed that everyone there would more or less look like me. I thought that I would step off of the plane and dive headfirst into this Afrocentric culture, where blackness was embraced as the standard. However, I was quickly reminded of the country's deep-rooted and relatively recent history of colonialism, and I wanted to learn more about the impact that colonization has had on the cosmetic industry and natural hair. The United States and South Africa have a shared history of European settlers subjugating their indigenous peoples to practices seeking to deteriorate their psyche. Various of indigenous traditions worldwide regard hair and practices of spirituality. In the Americas, residential schools and plantation owners cut or scalped people's hair, and laws required Black women to cover their hair in public. Since the first contact between colonizers and the people they sought to rule, the hairstyles of non-Europeans was inherently politicized. But I wanted to hear the expert's perspective on South Africans' perception of their own hair. So how long have you been doing hair?
It's about from 2009.
Oh, okay.
I've been here.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think that the same hairstyles that were popular when you were doing hair are the same today, or how have they changed?
Never. But now, I think we are going back. Because before we used to go step one, natural looks, but people they change, they like the relaxes now. But now, again, we are going back to those styles. Like now they're doing perms, they're doing what, and before they were not doing it. So I think we are going back now.
The American Civil Rights era paved way where Black hairstyles were adorned as symbols of cultural pride and resistance. A similar resurgence emerged with the rise of the internet in the early 2000s. Online network facilitated the sharing of a wealth of knowledge in natural hair care. But during this time, South Africans were out of the loop. Right. As a hairstylist, do you feel like you should tell people if they come in and they're like, I want a relaxer, are you just like, okay, I'll sit you in the chair? Or do you say hey, maybe I can do something more
No,
natural?
yes, I normally advise if I'll just check your hair. No, it needs treatment, it needs wash, it needs no, you have to relax now. Yeah.
Okay. As a stylist personally, what is your favorite style to do on people?
I love there's this open leaf. They call it open leaf. So in it's like you guys have a long hair. Us here it's we put hairpiece, but it look like natural hair. I can make someone just like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's with extension.
Do you
I love
think
it. And people love it. It's a new style.
it's very popular?
Very popular and ponies.
I've seen a lot of the ponies. Do you think people prefer longer styles or shorter styles?
Now it's short.
Okay. That's interesting.
But before it was the long one, they call it my inch. Yeah. They just want
One stylist likened a salon to a pharmacy, and he, a pharmacist. He relayed how patrons, through the expression of their hair, seek a transformation, a fix, a renewal. Hair can be used as a signifier of health, both tangibly and spiritually. This interconnectedness between mind, body, and spirit create an infinite loop where thoughts inform actions and actions inform reality, and where an illness in the mental can manifest in the physical. Another common style is the use of extensions, either through braids, weave, or wigs. But how does this constant covering of one's hair in place of another texture that doesn't reflect their own impact one's self-perception? A cognitive dissonance is created between what you are seeing every day versus what you know to be true. And there are conflicting emotions that can arise from that. And all of this is internal. So imagine when your negative self-image is confirmed by interactions in your personal life, depictions in the media, and even through local and federal laws. As colonization has influenced our ways of knowing and understanding of health, a radical shift must take place to make way for something new. So one must make the loaded but conscious decision of actively resisting or conforming. Decolonization requires creating resistance at every level. In order to create systemic change, the issue must be radically altered, starting from the bottom up. This means, at a personal level, with your mindset, self-perception, and interactions with others, you can create resistance. Question why moral judgment is placed upon those whose hair is locked or straightened. The value that you might place on shorter versus longer hair. Challenge public perceptions of how others might expect for you to show up in the world, whether it be special occasions or your everyday look. We must celebrate our diversity as a people, whereas ethnocentrism flattens these identities through conformity and assimilation.